Um, I do a lot of film reviews on my website, and I also did a series of discussions on various films that I'd watched in the past, which I just watched them out of morbid curiosity, really. But the discussion was explaining why I felt that they weren't suitable for viewing by Christians. But I'm going to do another series of films now, where films where it isn't so clear cut either way, whether a Christian should watch them or not. It's it's a bit more. These films, it's a bit more. It's a bit more debatable whether you can say yes or no to them. The more like borderline cases. This one here, it's called Bugsy Malone. It's a film I went to see with my mother when I was a child. It's as you can see, it's been given a U certificate by the British Board of Film Censors. That means suitable for all. Well, there are some I think there are some people who will doubt its suitability, not just for children but for anyone, because they would argue that it glorifies crime. It's if you read the back of it here, it says New York 1929. A war rages between the two rival gangsters, Fat Sam and Dandy Dan. Dan is in possession of a new and deadly weapon, the dreaded splurge gun. As the custard pies fly, Bugsy Malone, Happy Daisy Scott Bio, is an all-round nice guy. An all-round nice guy falls for Blousy Brown, a singer at Fat Sam's Speakeasy. His designs on her are disrupted by the seductive songstress Tallulah, double Academy Award winner Jodie Foster, who wants Bugsy for herself. Written and directed by Sir Alan Parker, this gangster musical satire is one of the best loved movies of the 1970s. It features a great cast, catchy song and dance routines, and hilarious slapstick comedy. And I think, I'm not sure about this, but I think this film was actually rated G in America. G for general. The American G certificate, G for general, it means general exhibition. It's an equivalent of our U certificate, which stands for universal, and it's the lowest rating that there is in America, and it's given to films, but by the Motion Picture Association of America, the MPAA, to show that they've passed it as being suitable for all ages. But it's like I've said, there isn't. There isn't any explicit violence in it. There isn't any explicit violence in this film. I don't think there's any bad language much worth speaking of. There's certainly no sex, because the entire cast of the film are children, and there's no sexual content in it at all. But some would. I think there are some persons who will say that it was still objectionable on the grounds that it glorifies crime, and in fact, children who watch it could be influenced to turn to crime. Well, that's debatable, really, because Everyone knows that there are gangsters and criminals. But everyone knows that they exist. Just, I mean, this is just a story. I mean, in the Bible, there's things like, but pagans sacrificing sacrificing the children by burning them in fire. I mean, it mentions that, but it doesn't encourage it. It says it was something that never came into the mind of God for anyone to do it. It never entered the mind of God for anyone to do that. It's not encouraging it by mentioning it, but by any means. And this is a U film, Universal. I mean, there's very few films rated U in Britain or G in America that are blatantly objectionable, really, by Christian standards, because they wouldn't be given a U rating or a G rating unless they were suitable for all ages. There's very small number of films in America get given a G rating. It's in fact a lot of filmmakers, if their film gets given a G rating, they put swear words into the film, so it will get a higher rating, because the filmmakers are actually going out of their way to avoid a G rating in America, because out of all the ratings, they say out of all the ratings, the G rated ones are the least popular, because the teenagers don't want to go and see don't want to go to see G-rated films because they're considered to be too puerile. They don't know the G-rated stuff. Your G-rated stuff in America is like your cartoons and your Bugs Bunny cartoons and Tom and Jerry and all that sort of thing. But I think this film was a G. But I don't think that it glorifies crime. Personally, I think it's just a story. There isn't anything that would do any harm. I went to see it with my mother when I was a child, and I never turned to crime. I suppose you possibly could. It's possible that you could say that, but it's not a film that it really matters whether you watch it or not. I don't think it's one of those films that it doesn't really. And as I will show in this series of discussions, there are even some quite a few films with higher ratings that are borderline cases, where they're not really all that bad in themselves. But films get a higher rating, a 15 or an 18, because they contain scenes which are not suitable for children. Well, no, even if there's things which in a film which are not suitable for children, it doesn't make it all bad. I will show that, but I think Bugsy Malone, it's just one of those films where it doesn't really matter that it really matter whether you watch it or not. It's not really a matter of great importance. It's just a film. There's certainly no sexual content in it anyway, because all the entire cast of children. So, is it a suitable film for Christians? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's up to the individual, really. Anyway, I'll be back soon with more reviews and discussions on various topics.